So hello everybody, we had gone up to part 16 last class. We have taken the whole class in discussing parts and schedules, parts only, and then there was only up to 16 part we had come. And I hope you have all gone through the class and understood the concept behind the parts, how each part is related to some important provisions of our body politic, of our political system. In this part, we shall continue up from part 17 and we shall discuss the parts, schedules, and then we shall go to the preamble. And if possible, we have time, we can up to go to the questions related to this topic. So, last class we had gone up to part 16, now we will come to part 17. Part 17 related to languages, official languages of India. You can say official languages. India is a multilingual country. India is a multilingual country. It's a multilingual country. And there are thousands of languages, dialects spoken in the country. There are thousands of dialects. According to 2011 census, there are 211 major languages in India, spoken by a majority of people, major languages in India. So, in this regard, part 17 holds utmost importance. It mentions or clearly states the languages type. There are three types of languages mentioned. And part 13, say 17, is mentioned, that is part 16. Part 16 are from which that is 332. Yes, 342, and the part 17 deals with 343 to 351 articles. That is, you have to remember also 341 to range 351. And in 343, that is the official language of the Union. Official language of the Union, and that is Hindi or English. But remember, English was to be discontinued after 15 years from the date of commencement of the Constitution. That means English was to be ceased to be a language, medium of language since 1965, but it was not there. And another an act was enacted in 1963, Official Language Act, in which English was made to continue along with Hindi as a language of the central government. So English and Hindi are both the language of the central government, used in in the mode of communication or medium of communications. So English is now a recognized official language of the Union. Okay, that is 343. And Article 345 deals with official language of the states, if I am correct. Official languages of states, and Article 340 which deals with language to be used in Supreme Court and High Courts. And according to the article, the judgments or the proceedings of the Supreme Court and High Court shall be made in English. So 348 specifically deals with the language to be used in Supreme Court and High Court. That is you can say English. So the language that is mentioned in 348 is that English. English shall be a mode of proceedings. It also deals with part 17 deals with the establishment of a special linguistic officer, or you can say minority linguistic commission, and it was to be established under Article 350B. And the linguistic commission is endowed with the responsibilities to look after, to preserve and protect the minority languages, text states to promote them. And these three Article 50 provisions was added under 350B by 7th Amendment Act 1956. What are the things? XBII. XBII is all about language. Got it? XBII deals with emergencies, and emergency is a unitary provisions in a country like India where there are diverse regional disparities exist, and that is a multilingual or pluralistic society. So mutual coexistence is essential, but sometimes the regional discontentment or regional disturbances may act against the unity and integrity of the country. So the constitution contains a viable weapon in the hand of the executive or the central government to control or contain the situation or contain the threat to the unity and integrity of the country, to the constitution, and they are called emergencies. Emergencies are borrowed from the Government of India Act 1935. They are dealt in Article 352 to 360. And you know there are three types of emergency: national emergency, under Article 352, state emergency or president's rule, that is Article 356 deals with that, and financial emergency. Article 360. Okay. Then we shall go. But sometimes, as we come up, a member in the Constituent Assembly was much against this part. It said that it would establish a totalitarian government. So as we come up on the point that emergency would establish this part would establish the totalitarian state. So he once said that in the Constituent Assembly, he said that I'm reading that point if I get, and that was there. His B was not noted here. He argued for a strong emergency powers. He argued for a Kamath accused drafting committee of the plagiarizing UK's emergency powers of 1920 in dishonest manner. While discussing Article 59, he added that the provisions were dangerous, and since even the British did not suspend the right to constitutional remedies during World War II, India should do better. Okay, so he was not in favor of that, but other members were there. Titi Krishnamachari, the drafting committee member, defended the inclusion of emergency provisions and invoked the historical context of emergency power in 1920. He argued that the provisions were meant to ensure that all our efforts, all these years spent in constitution making, may not go in vain, and those people who will be in power in the future would be adequately empowered to shape the constitution. So Kamath argued for strong safeguards against misuse of emergency powers. S.B. Kamath, he was much against this provision. He said that unfortunately we who profess to build a sovereign democratic republic in India have no use for such safeguards. We trust the executive implicitly. God grant that our trust be justified. Okay, and that assumption, that belief of Kamath came to true in 1975 when emergency was imposed as an arbitrary decision of the executive. So that is a point to be remembered. That is part 18. Part 18. Then part 19. XIX. XIA deals with miscellaneous features. Miscellaneous. So it deals with various factors like 52, XIX 1819. It deals with Article 361 to 367, and there's various factors like immunities of the president and governor. You can deal with, if you talk about Article 361, then you will see that in Article 361 there is a provision for providing immunities for presidents, and that we are talking about Article 361 for president and governors. Also foreign heads, and diplomats, they enjoy certain immunities. You can talk about immunities. They cannot be arrested, they cannot be detained, no criminal proceedings can be sought on them. They are not answerable. The president and governor are not answerable to any court of law for their performance of their official duties. They are not answerable to the court. So it is a kind of protect the interest of the sanctity of the constitutional offices. sanctity of the constitutional offices. So Article 361, and there are various articles also like 365, when the central government faults or disrespect or disobeys central directives, it may amount to the breakdown of constitutional machinery. So there are different types of measures found in mentioned in XIX, hence it is called miscellaneous part of the constitution. Then part X deals with the part X deals with amendments. So that is Article 368 only, and deals with and part X deals with amendment of the provisions. Then part XI 21, special provision for certain classes. Provision for certain states. There are certain most backward regions in the country, and that backward regions should be dealt with with a special attention in the constitution. So there are about you can say 11 states if you deal with that, and we can discuss that special provisions and Article 3, sir, that is Article 369 to 393, and there was articles on like you can say 370 was there in Amendment Jammu and Kashmir and stood abolished by 2019 Act. Then Article 371 especially deals with Maharashtra and Gujarat. The Vidarbha and Marathwada region of Maharashtra and Saurashtra and Kutch of Gujarat are considered for this inclusion. They need special attention by the government. They are situated or located in a very harsh and hostile climatic and geomorphic conditions. So that's why they are set aside to receive a special attention by the government. And Article 371A that was added by 13th Amendment, that is Nagaland. 371B Assam, C Manipur, D Andhra, D and E Andhra, F Sikkim, F, and G. G is about Mizoram, H. Arunachal Pradesh. I. Goa. Okay. So 370, 371, 371A, B, C, D, F, G, H, G, Karnataka. So Nagaland was 13th constitutional amendment act. 1963 में ऐड हुआ था. सिक्किम 74th constitution 36th constitutional amendment act. 1975 में ऐड हुआ था. 36th. Okay, now part 12. (393). If you consider the parts of the constitution, it will be, I think, uh, yes, 393 to 395. The deals with repeals and authoritative text of uh, schedule. Okay, so these are the things, and now you can see there are 22 parts, but added parts are there. Part IBA, fundamental duties. Part XIBA, tribunals. Part IXA, part IXB. Major parts added. That is 22 plus 4, then 26 parts. And one part is minus. So we can say there are Okay, now we shall come to the schedules. So schedules are nothing but a list of the constitution. We have discussed schedules. Probably we have discussed past schedules. Okay, we have discussed schedules. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So now we shall go to the preamble of the constitution. I think we have discussed schedules. And that was on 26th August, 23rd August. So we have discussed schedules. Okay. Now we shall go to the preamble to the constitution. So let's see what we have discussed. Yes, we have discussed schedules. Now we shall go to the preamble to the constitution. We have a text on the screen, so need not to write. We shall go to that. With regards to preamble, you can say that it is a prologue to the constitution or a preface to the constitution. It is the sum and substance of the constitution of India. It is a mirror of the constitution. It reflects the ideals of the constitution. So preamble is like a gateway to the constitution. It mentions the objectives of the constitution, the nature of government in our country, and the whole picture of the constitution in a nutshell. So, as a preface has a significant role to play in mentioning about the constitution, mentioning about the book. Preamble is also plays a significant role in mentioning the nature and characteristic of the constitution. Hence, preamble is called mirror of the constitution because it reflects the ideals of the making constitution makers. Preamble is a non-enforceable document. It states the stated objective of the constitution, and we are inspired by American constitution to have a preamble because America is the oldest constitution which used to have a preamble. And another thing, the contact, tone and temper of the president is largely debated, largely based upon the objective resolution of Jawaharlal Nehru, which was moved in the assembly on 22nd November 20, that is on 13 December 1946 and was approved by the Constituent Assembly on 22nd January 1947. The language used in the objective resolution are now reflected in the preamble, hence it is a very significant things that it is derives its strength from objective resolution. Objective resolution was drafted by Nehru. So let us now go to the significant the text of the preamble. You can say yes. Then we shall come to the significance. With the people of India, mark each and every word has its significance in case of preamble. So don't be in a hurry. Just try to mug it off and try to practice it also. So what is written on the screen? What is written on the screen? We, the people of India, yes, chant with me, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, and secular democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and opportunities, and to promote among them all fraternity. So the three words liberty, equality, and fraternity are interrelated. Liberty, equality, and fraternity. Okay, last para in our Constituent Assembly this 26th day of November in our Constituent Assembly. Now in the this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. So this is the complete text of the preamble. That is the complete text of the preamble. So it's beautifully written, beautifully drafted. Okay, so please try to mug it up. Sometimes it may be necessary also. Now we shall understand the meaning of the things. Before that, let us understand the significance of the preamble. Why should there be a preamble? What is the need for a preamble? And what is the significance of preamble? If you consider the nature of Indian state, it states the nature or characteristic of okay. So nature means sovereignty, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Okay, nature of Indian state. Sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. One thing I forgot to tell you, is the word sovereignty, secular and socialist, these two words, socialist, secular, and also integrity, these were later added. So, later added by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, and that is first it was sovereign democratic republic. Okay, then it tells about the nature or characteristic of government of India. It also tells about the source of authority of the country. Who is the ultimate source of authority? People. People of India are the ultimate source of authority. They elect the government, they break the government, they make the government, and they can change the government. So whatever change, whatever things are happening in the country, it is due to the participation of people. They can change government, they can break the government, they can do anything like that upon their choice. So hence the preamble begins with the phrase "We the people of India." Okay, hence it is used. Then objective resolution from the Constitution. Objective resolution. Objectives of the Constitution. The philosophy. Philosophy or ideals. Okay. So objective of the Constitution means philosophy or ideals, means justice, equality, justice, equality, liberty, fraternity. These are called the philosophy of the Constitution. These are called philosophy of the Constitution. Constitution or the edifice of the Constitution is structured upon these pillars. And date of adoption also will not from 26th November. Okay, that is 26th November 1949. Date of adoption 26th November. So these are the four things we have learned from the Constitution or the Preamble. So it is quite significant to understand the Constitution, and it is hence used as the preface. Then key words used in the Preamble. First of all, you have to remember the "We the people." Why the Preamble begins with "We the people of India," not any father or any godfather, any person. It means Constitution. It's entirely devoted to the people, and it is the document that will ensure good governance and will bring. Okay, so that is the sovereignty. Then sovereignty. With the people of India, having solemnly resolved. Let us come to this point. With the people of India means people are the ultimate source of authority. They are the sovereign powers, source of sovereign powers. Solemnly means seriously. Resolved to take a firm decision. To constitute India, to build India into a sovereign. We have the list, sovereign. So we shall now come to the sovereign. Sovereignty means what? The word sovereignty was conceptualized by Jane Bodin, if I am correct. Jane Bodin. Jane Bodin. He coined the term in for sovereignty. It means completely independent, supremely independent. So India, after the commencement of the constitution, okay, so it's not a dependency. Means it is not no more a land under the authority of the other, under the suzerainty or sovereignty, under the authority. Okay, under the authority of others. Okay, so it is not a dependence, it is a free country. It can conduct, it is authorized to conduct its own affairs, internal sovereign and external affairs. It can take its own decision. It is not bound by anybody. Alright. But India has both internal and external sovereignty. External sovereignty means India has its authority to deal with its own affairs. No international, no foreign countries or its membership in the international organizations like UN and Commonwealth is not a deterrent to its sovereignty, not a threat to its sovereignty. And internal sovereignty means when the state is supreme, the state has supreme authority. Means the state is superior to non-state factors like pressure groups, interest groups, and others. So state will not be dominated by non-state factors. Any decision made in the country, any legal steps taken in the country are to be finally approved by the government. No other pressure group, no other organizations will pressurize the government to do that. Hence, India is endowed with both internal and external sovereignty. So it can acquire and sell foreign territory also because it is sovereign country. That is called about your sovereignty. Then we shall come to socialist. What is the meaning of socialist? Exact meaning of socialist is ownership by the state over the means of production. But India has not adopted pure socialism, or purely socialism that is in practice in China and Russia. It has adopted democratic socialism, characterized by mixed economy. So we are a blending of Marxism and communism. We are not purely a socialistic country as China and others. But we need a socialist approach because in considering the developing aspect of our nature of the political system, we are not in each country, so people are yet to understand, are yet to be a part of the political system. Okay, and socialistic partner society was accepted in our decision as early as in 1955, and that was inserted in the preamble. And socialism features principles are mentioned in DPS. The basic objective of socialism is to end poverty, ignorance, disease, and inequality of the opportunity. And this word was added by 42nd Amendment Act 1976. Next, we shall go to secular. Secular is a very comprehensive broad term. It has a lot of meanings like the state does not promote any religions of its own. Okay, so secular means state has. Okay, an official act special status, no religion of its own, individuals, no discrimination on the ground of religion, okay. There are a lot of many state does not patronage any system, any religions, particular religions. Although we are a Hindu majority country, people have freedom of people have freedom to is a Western differs from the Western concept of secularism, where there is a dichotomy between religion and politics. But in India, that is not the case. Though religion is separated, but state can put restrictions on the religious rights and rituals if they pertain to hamper the integrity of the country. Okay, then democratic. Democracy is a concept of government by consent, John Locke, Koitla, is of the people, by the people, and for the people. So democracy is always pro people. Democracy means ultimately the power to rule the country is vested in the common people. Demos and Kratos. Okay. Two types of democracy. Indirect democracy, or otherwise called your representative democracy. Representative democracy. India has representative. And after 73rd, 74, it has turned into a participatory government. Participatory democracy. If you talk about direct democracy, where people directly participate in the functioning of the governance, that is possible only in very small countries. And Switzerland is the only nation to have a direct democracy. Got it or not? And I have mentioned the elements of that is referendum, recall, initiate, plebiscite. Recall means calling back of representative from the middle of the term if they pertain to or if they are alleged to be neglecting their duties. Okay, so that is called democracy. Referendum means mass voting any for any proposal. Recall means calling back of representatives in the middle of the term if they pertain to underperform. And initiate means to start a process, and plebiscite is used in case of transfer of lands. Okay, democracy is provided into the political democracy, social democracy, and economic democracy. That is already written. Okay, so universal adult suffrage, periodic election, rule of law, independence of judiciary, any sense of discrimination on the grounds are certain democratic provisions in the constitution. Okay, then we shall move to justice. Justice means what? Justice means due treatment to others. It means a just behavior and treatment. So, with a view towards an egalitarian and just society. There are three kinds of justice are answered. One is it means the best behavior and treatment. Social justice means social we call treatment to all citizens without any discrimination, based on caste, color, thing. Economic injustice implies glaring inequalities in wealth, income, and poverty between the haves and have-nots. Political uh, justice means private rights. So, political right, equal access to all political offices. And Article 15 deals with social justice. So three types of justice are mentioned in a preamble: political, social, economic, and political. Okay, okay. And justice is taken from the American Constitution, a Russian Constitution. Liberty. Liberty means a sense of freedom, sorry. So liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, worship. Five kinds of liberties are mentioned, and it's also to protect secular characteristics. Finally, equality. Equality means absence of social prejudice, even not status or equality of status and equality and strict realize equality. Okay, there is equal status and right to equality. Right to equality is Article 1 4. Article 1 4 deals specifically with right to equality. We shall discuss more about it. Fraternity means sense of brotherhood. Single citizenship, fundamental duties on the grounds of common harmony and spirit of common brotherhood, transcending religious, linguistic, and regional sectional lines. Okay, okay. So fraternity is essential in a country with pluralistic tendencies. Codes and framework. There are certain codes. PM Munshi says it is a horoscope of the constitution. Pandit Thakurdas Baba said it is the soul of the Indian constitution. Keynote Kaitilandas Bakar is an identity card to the constitution of India. Okay, so that is called codes. Parts we have dealt with. You must have remembered the parts. Schedules are also there. Now we shall deal with the questions. What is true of republics? What is true of republic? Okay. So, what is true of responsibility? Refers to a state of constitution leads to. That is one. Consider. So number two. What is the nature of Indian state or the preamble to the Constitution of India leads to India Acts? Sovereign is a solicitor. But remember in 1950 it was not four words. These two words are added later. Okay. Now go to the next question. Okay. So answer will be D. Kindly check the answer. Tell answer D. 3. Which of the following facts can be safely established by the preamble? What is the significance? Okay. And all the above are answer. Yes, you can see on question number 4. There is one, two, three, four. The constituents of the makers of the constitution are reflected in preamble. Okay, just a minute. So it reflects the minds of the makers, means the objective of the constitution that was in the mind of the makers are mentioned in the preamble. That's why the answer is A. Which one of the following is objective not embodied in the preamble to the Constitution of India? Liberty of thought, economic liberty is not mentioned. B. Which one of the following statement is not correct? Okay, we'll discuss. That is all about amendment. Let us just know about it. It's not there. First thing, a question was raised in the early 60s whether each preamble a part is preamble a part. That means preamble is not a part in the true sense of the term. It's not mentioned within any type of parts. We have seen 25 parts, but there is no part contains preamble. But this question arises because it was intended to grant a status of a part to the preamble. Why? To just amend it and to change any text like that. So, so I would like to say that the question was discussed and debated in that is, you can say, okay, okay. So, question was debated in various pieces. Deal to it. Then, there are three major cases like Birubari case, 1960, in this case, the Supreme Court held that preamble is not a part but it is a key to the Constitution. It is a key. It is a key to understand the Constitution. Very, very. Then Kesavan Bharati case, 1973. In this case, the preamble was and hence it can be amended. And accordingly, 42nd Amendment Act 1976 added has added three words: socialist, secular and integrity words were added later, and it has been amended once. But preamble can be amended by special majority subject to that is subject to violation of basic structure. So preamble can be amended under Article 368 without destroying the basic structure, means basic features of the Constitution, as it was made in the as what was declared in the Kesavananda Bharati case, basic structure theory. So preamble can be amended according to the Supreme Court. Preamble can be amended, but it can be amended without destroying the basic structure of the Constitution. So answer will be that is C. Look at the option C. Okay. So preamble can be amended only after the okay, and the preamble was considered a basic structure. Preamble was considered a basic structure in the SR my case 1994 में इसको दिया गया कि preamble is a basic structure of the constitution hence cannot be completely diluted. 8. In which of the following constitutional cases Supreme Court has given ruling that preamble is a part of the constitution? Obviously, like Kesavananda case. Very case in which of the following question whether preamble is a part or not arose for the first time in 1960. How many times the preamble of India has been amended so far? Once. The preamble was first amended in 76. Preamble was adopted by the Constitutional Assembly of India as the Constitution of India originally contained 395 articles, 22 parts, 8 schedules. The ninth schedule was added by the sixth schedule of the Constitution of India pertains to the administration of tribal areas. In which of the following states that is A, isn't it? Match the list. So we can find presidential system with separation of power, parliamentary system, close relationship, federal system, division. So that is 1, 2, 4, 3 hours. So 1 to 4. Special provision for certain classes. Isn't it? Should the following statement is correct? Okay. So I think this will be the answer in our Constitutional Assembly. This 26th day of November 1949 do hereby adopt, enact and give to our service. Who propounded the concept? Jane Bodin. Answer A. I told you. Should the following is not a non-state actor? Means a state actor. Means a government related service. This is a non-state actor. So that is non-state, that is non-state, that is not non-state, it is a state actor. Central Worker Council deals with the properties of mosques and it is under the government of India. Okay, these are the all non-state actors, means not government organizations. XB election, excess amendment, XIB services, XBA emergency. Sorry, it's correct, incorrect, okay. So D. Then, okay, that is the same answer C. Which provision on anti-defection are 10 schedule, isn't it? 10 schedule. 10 schedule deal with anti-defection. And remember all schedules also 9 schedule land reforms. How many acts? Our 10 that 284. 11 schedule panchayat list, 12 schedule municipal list. Originally 14. Original 14. It was mentioned 15, not 14. 14, it is 14. Latter plus 8, 22. Odia was one of the 14 languages. Which of the following languages is not added in the 8th schedule by 92nd Amendment Act? Okay, so 92nd are Bodo, Dogri, Maitri, Santal. Dogri is missing. Manipur is added by 71st Amendment Act. Okay, so now go to the next chapter. Uh, Next chapter means salient features of Indian Constitution. We shall be starting and just it will remain continuing because it will take two classes, comprehensive classes of that. Alright. We shall discuss salient features of Indian Constitution. With regards to salient features of Indian Constitution, you must be aware of the fact that Indian Constitution is one of the most successful democratic constitutions so far in the world. The contemporary constitutions which are made along with India are now in the sick bed, are now dead. Some of them have already been destroyed. Some of them are lingering. So there is no way. Okay, and that's what makes the constitution a resilient constitution, or most successful democratic constitution. What are the features that provided to strengthen or to enable the constitution to cope with the uh, situation? Therefore, in this class, we shall discuss some of the major factors of Indian constitution towards the people of India, towards the governance. Okay. So, what are the salient features? Why it is called salient? Because it is the most vital features. First of all, it is the lengthiest written constitutions. It is somewhere read that found that about 1,40,000 words are used in the constitution, and it has a lot of 1950 if you find in 1950 we find articles, schedules, and attachments. So 1950 Article 395, Schedules 8 and Parts 22. So 395, that is at present, 395 articles, 8 schedules, and but if present, if you want, we can say 465, 8 articles, 12 schedules, and 25 parts. Apart from that, there have been a lot of amendments made in the cut. So why constitution has become so lengthiest? Reasons. Impact of Government of India Act. Impact of Government of India Act content totally 21 sections and 10 schedules. As we have borrowed most of the provisions of the Constitution, it said that the Government of India Act largely influence the Constitution of India. Then vast race of the country and special provision for so these are the special provisions for certain states. These are the reasons why Constitution has become lengthier. So day by day it is a bulkier Constitution in vast country and to meet the exigencies of the pluralistic society and to avoid conflict between the central states. You can write also to avoid federal disputes. These are the reasons why Constitution was made lengthiest. Then separation of power. With regards to separation of power, we can say that democracy primarily based on separation of power. Separation of powers means the powers distributed between executive, legislature, and judiciary. In a presidential setup, there is a close, clear-cut separation of powers between these organs. They are not indirectly or indirectly, they are not directly responsible to anybody for their acts. But in India, the system or the principle of doctrine of separation of power is not properly implemented. Okay, so we have separation of power, no doubt, but there is a difference between the separation of power of America and us. We have doctrine of check and balance. We have doctrine of check and balance. The executive is not a separate from a legislature, rather executive is responsible to the legislature for its acts of omission and commission. Hence, we have in India there is okay in India there is That means executive is responsible to legislature, and legislative acts can be judicially reviewed, and all are not clearly separated from each other. There is a type of internal relationship between among them. Provisions for parliamentary government. See, parliamentary government has the following features. One is parliament. Okay, then you call parliamentary government. And India has adopted parliamentary government after independence because of its age-old rapport with the system during the colonial administrations. Hence, we were comfortable with that. So the provisions of parliamentary system of government has already been introduced in India since last 150 years. Okay, next. Partly rigid and partly flexible. This term refers to this term refers to Constitution can be amended. So simple majority in the parliament means here in parliament, and when simple majority amendment is there, that is flexible. When these two metals are there, there is rigid constitution. So what I mean to say you, when the constitution is amended by a small number of members, mean by simple majority, it is called a flexible constitution. And when the constitution is amended by a rigid procedure or difficult procedure, it is called flexible. Okay, and the flexibility of the constitution is derived from the UK political system, and the rigidity of the constitution is derived from the American constitution. We have accepted neither the difficult procedure amendment nor the simple procedure amendment. We have adopted both of them. In certain times, they will be adopted to in the national interest. Okay, that is partly rigid, but when the constitution was first amended in 1951, remember the parliament can amend the constitution. Neither the state legislature nor the president alone, anybody can present the legislature. And the constitution, okay, this is what I call blending of rigidity and flexibility. Blending of. You got it? So this is the last one also. The Republic State. Republic State, we have understood that the head of the state is elected as a president is elected, hence India is a republic and people participate. So the concept of and India became a republic on 26 January 1950. On 26 January 1950. That is called the Republic of the State. Okay. So I hope to complete this chapter next class. And we have already discussed preamble parts and schedules. We are going slowly but steadily and try to capture most questions from different sources on the chapters that are completed so that it will be helpful for you to to have a touch on the subject on the chapters. So revise some questions, collect some questions from different sources from internet or from any other group on the chapter that is completed in the class, and work out on your own, and also measure how many numbers of questions you are comfortable to adopt and which question troubles you or which question is not comprehensible in this. So George yourself, civil service is a very long process. So this endeavor of banning is quite significant, quite not a welcome step because it helps people like those who are away from offline centers can avail themselves this opportunity. So avail yourself, give some comments and constructive ways to improve this course. We will take carry on and give will hear you or give importance to your constructive suggestions. Okay, so no comment. You are not anyone. If you are watching, let me see. Okay, so let me complete it and we shall carry on from yes. Yes, I could not see your message, Manini. Are you? Did you want to say something? You can write in the comment box, in the chat box. I will read it. What did you want? What did you want to tell regarding this? Okay, okay. Goodbye to all of you. See you in the next class.